Hey YouTube, how's it going? It's Quentin here, and welcome to tutorial number 12. And in this video, I'm going to talk to you guys about variable scope. So, variable scope is basically where am I allowed to use a variable inside of my program? Because you actually get two different kinds of variables. You get global variables, and then you get local variables. So I've titled the page quite nicely over there. Okay, and global variables are basically variables that are declared outside of a function, and they can be used anywhere inside of my program. But a local variable, on the other hand, is a variable that is declared inside of a function, and that local variable is only allowed to be used inside of the function in which it is declared. So, do you guys understand? Not really? Okay, well, let's go ahead and take a look at an example real quick. And what I'm going to do is at the top of the page we can just declare a variable. So I'm going to declare it, and I'm going to call it champion, and I'll set that equal to Fizz, because I play a lot of League of Legends and Fizz is my favorite champion by far. So basically what this means now is that this is a global variable. It can be used anywhere in our program. So I'm just going to go ahead and we'll leave a comment over here to say global. And now what we can do is also just want to make a function. So we can't have a local variable without having a function. So we'll just go ahead and make a function here. And I'm going to call this function print champion. And right now its job is just to print out the champion's name. So let's go ahead and break that down, and we'll just say document dot write. Okay, and I'm going to write out my champion's name, so champion, plus I actually want to concatenate a little bit of extra information on the end there. So I want to concatenate inside function so that I know that this line came from inside of the function. And then I'm also just going to include a line break on the end there, just so that the next line starts on a new line. And now what we can do is obviously we have to call our function. So I'm going to call print champion, and below that I'm going to print out one more line onto the page. So we go ahead and say document dot write. Oops. And what we'll do now is we'll print out the champion name, plus we'll concatenate outside function, and then we'll also include a break just for good measure. Okay, cool. So now when we go ahead and save this, and then we run this in Firefox, you can see that we get two lines of code printed out on the page. We get Fizz inside function, and then we get Fizz outside function. And I actually made quite a few typos. Embarrassing. Okay, cool. So we get these two lines printed out on the screen. So what does that mean? We got the one that was printed from inside the function, and then we've got the one that was printed from outside the function. And the reason why this worked is because this was a global variable, meaning it could be used anywhere in our program and it would work. Okay, but now let's take a look if we go ahead and we cut this out and we declare this variable inside of our function instead. So now instead of being a global variable, it's a local variable. Okay, and let's go ahead and save this, go back to Firefox, and watch what happens when I click refresh. Okay, now I only get one line printed on the screen. So why did that happen? Why have I only got one line? Well, like I said, this is now a local variable, okay? Which means that it can only be used inside of this function, because this is the function that our variable was declared inside of. Okay, so you can basically think of it like this function is greedy, and basically what it's saying is, okay, you declared this variable inside of me, okay, that means no one else is allowed to use it. So when we try to use this variable name over here, we couldn't, because it's not global, it's local, and it's only local to this function. Okay, so basically that's the difference between a global variable and a local variable. And I should probably just say this before I end off. Don't go, because you watch this video, don't go ahead and make all of your variables global variables and think, okay, well, because global works everywhere, I'll just make them all global. Okay, that is bad programming practice, and if other programmers that are a lot more experienced than you see you just like making everything a global variable, even if it doesn't have to be, then they're kind of just going to label you as a bad programmer. So you as a programmer know where you're going to use a global variable or where you're going to use a local variable. That is your decision to make, but you'll get better at it with practice. So the more you practice, the more you'll realize, okay, well, I'm going to use this variable all over my program, so I'll make it global. But then I've got another variable that I'll use just only inside this function, and that one I'll make local. So just that's a decision that you guys will have to start making in future whenever you guys start programming. But that's actually all I have for you in this video. So don't forget to subscribe, and if this video helped you, then please click that thumbs up button below. And if you guys have a good programming joke to share, then leave it in the comments section below, and we can all have a good laugh. So thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.